very chaotic after a while, you know what I mean? Because he was just, and Patrick Mahomes doing everything he can to try to get the ball off. But the pressure, so much pressure on him. He was not able to sit in that pocket. They did a great job of covering up Tyreek Hill and saying, if you're going to go down the field, you're going to walk the ball down the field, which gives our defensive line more opportunities against your offensive line. We've never seen the Kansas City Chiefs look like they look tonight. But I've seen this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team play like this. They played like this when they beat the Green Bay Packers. They came right back and showed you what they had in them tonight.
Tyrann Mathieu, he made a big statement there, and he was talking about the penalties that gave up points. And the Chiefs had 95 yards of penalties in the first half, all right? Couldn't get off the field. They had a penalty on a field goal, gave them a first down. And you know what? They got behind. That 95 yards is the most any team had in a half the whole season, all right? So now they're behind. And when Patrick Mahomes is playing from behind with three new, Andy Reid's not going to make any excuses, but I'll just say three new offensive linemen as starters, that's very, very difficult to throw the ball.
But Tyrann Mathieu, one thing Tyrann Mathieu, when he says it like that, is he says it like the penalties hurt them. No, those were physical penalties. That means it was in the act of the guys beating you. That's why those were penalties. You were trying to stop the easy touchdown. So you lost that game.
Well, the Bucs had tremendous balance on the offensive side of the football. Everybody wants to talk about Tom Brady, but how about that ground game? They put up 146 total yards, and right now we are joined by Leonard Fournette, who led the team with 89 yards on the ground. A lot of people call him Playoff Lenny. All right, so, Leonard, congratulations. Let's roll it back. September 1st, you were unemployed. Now on February 7th, you're a Super Bowl champion. How did you get here?
Oh, man, nothing but God. You know, first and foremost, Tom and Devin White reached out to me, wanted me to come join the team and the organization, and it was history from there.
Leonard, this is Michael Irvin, man.
What's up, Mike?
Congratulations, bro. Listen, man, Leonard, you ran with a little extra gas in your tank tonight. When I saw a dude in front of you, I said, oh, my God. When you hit that dude, I jumped up in the green room. And I said, oh, my God. They definitely going to win this game, man. Talk to me about the energy you had in this game, knowing that you were going to have to run this football to help this team win tonight.
Most definitely. Tom was preaching. You know, they was 31st in the lead when yards after contact, you know, and I'm a firm believer when you keep hitting them out throughout the game, they're not going to want to tackle anymore, and that's exactly what happened.
Leonard Fournette, Steve Mariucci here.
What's up, Coach?
And you have come a long way since that high school Under Armour football game that we were together.
Yes, sir.
And you won the game for us on a wheel route for a touchdown, man. And I'm so proud of you.
Appreciate that.
Yes, and been watching your career with interest. And yes, coming from Jacksonville, all right? And I know that was maybe a setback for you to land here. Talk about timing is everything. But the way you finished this season, it wasn't just here and there. You carried this football team in some ways through the playoffs and averaged about 110 scrimmage yards every single game. You became the bell cow with the GOAT at quarterback. And you know, how do you like taking that responsibility when you have such a great quarterback in front of you?
Yeah, when the playoffs started, you know, when Rojo, the first game when he didn't play, I told Tom, I told Coach Byron, I told Coach BA, you know, this is what I'm here for. You know, I'm ready for big moments. I've always played in big games. And like I say, it was a struggle for me at first. You know, me being cut was still bothering me. It was still the back of my head some days when I was practicing and stuff. But God doesn't make any mistakes, and I just kept my faith.
Leonard, talk about that offensive line you had out in front of you, man. We were just talking to one of your big boys, man. Just tell me about getting to know that offensive line.
Listen, we're going to start off with our center, Ryan. He don't play at all. He don't play no games, you know. And I think he's the cowbell of the offensive line, and it starts with him. When you see him going out there throwing his ball on the line for guys like me, the quarterback, the wide receivers, to get an extra play, extra yard, it only motivates me as a runner is to go harder. So, man, those guys deserve it all throughout this whole season.
So, Leonard, of course, you know that everything lives forever on social media. I'm going to bring up a tweet from 2014 that you posted back in the day. Can't wait till I play in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you remember putting that out and hitting send?
Nah. Actually, when they brought it back up when we made it to the Super Bowl, I forgot all about it. But it's crazy how you manifest things in your life and it comes to pass. You know, you got to stay focused and stay the road.
Well, Leonard, congratulations. You are a Super Bowl champion. Let that wash over you for a little while and go hang out with your teammates, your family, and your friends. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. All right, Coach. All right, Mike. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Congratulations, Leonard.
All right, Leonard.
All right, so there you go. Leonard Fournette, part of the new Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look at all these guys. We know that Brady signed in the offseason. Then Gronk came out of retirement. Antonio Brown.
Showed up today.
Yeah, he joined the team, scored a touchdown today. Leonard Fournette. Suck up. He wasn't even, with the team last year. All 31 points scored by guys who were not with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2019. And now Bruce Arians at 68 years old becomes the oldest coach to win the big game.
Hell no, I ain't going anywhere. I'm coming back, try to get 2. And then we'll see after that. But, no, this football team, I love these guys. And we have a great staff, great team. Hopefully Jason and I can get together and keep most of them and try to repeat.
So Bruce Arians, who didn't even get a head coaching job until he was 60 years old, gets to celebrate. And how cool is this? His 95-year-old mother, Kay, made the trip. She hung out, got to see it all in person. I can only imagine how this guy is feeling tonight.
Unbelievable,
right?
What a moment right there.
So what does he bring to this organization? Because there were a lot of people who were so curious about the Brady-Arians dynamic after it was Brady-Belichick for 2 decades. Why did this thing eventually work, Michael Irvin?
Well, when I talk with him, that's exactly what I ask him about. Like, what seemed to us in the media to be the bickering back and forth. And he says, no, Tom and I laughed about that stuff. He said, my job is to coach. Tom says he understands that his job is to be coach. He said we would get together in meetings and just laugh about that. It never got in the way of what we wanted to do. And I'll tell you why it never got in the way. Because of what Coach Arians said. He said it. He said Tom wants to play, but Tom wants to coach. Tom basically wants to GM. Tom wants to do everything. And they wouldn't let him do it in New England, and they let him do it here. All of those players he brought in, GMing, all of the coaching, and he got a Super Bowl in his first year. That's why I'm up here losing my voice talking about the insane accomplishment of Tom.
Why are you losing your voice? Is it you're that?
Well, you've been yelling for 10 hours today.
I've been talking about this, Chris, forever. We saw tonight something we have never seen before. And the greatest history is always marked with never. That means no one has ever laid eyes upon this. There has never been a name written upon the rock that they wrote their name on tonight, because no team has ever stood on their home turf and won a Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. I don't know about y'all. I like seeing history. I like seeing things like that. And Tom Brady just keeps giving it to us.
So do you think people are sick of seeing it, and that's why we wanted
to? Absolutely.
So that's why everybody was pushing the Mahomes narrative that one day he can chase down the GOAT. And because we had seen Brady win it 6 times before tonight. You're looking at me quizzically, Mooch. Why, you're not buying that?
You know what I'm not buying is because people might be sick of Tom Brady winning Super Bowls. But I got news for you, doubters. When they come back, and if they can keep this team together, they'll be better next year. They started off 7-5, right? Because they didn't have any practice. There was no preseason, no offseason. Can you imagine if everybody gets vaccinated and they start practicing in the training camp or before that, and they get some of these guys back like Antonio Brown or Gronk or Leonard Fournette? This team will be the team to beat for a little bit. That guy's not retiring anytime soon.
And I love what these guys have done. I mean, all the way around. It showed that they move. And I always say this, guys, when it comes to winning Super Bowls, you have to leave this, we're a football organization, or we're a football team, or we're a football unit. You have to move towards, and you must become a football family. And that's what they became. They became a football family. Little things. I mean, the little things. They wanted to make sure Mike Evans get that 1,000 yards because they brought in Antonio Brown and all those things. Those little things carry in the locker room. And you heard those guys talking about playing together, being soldiers together, winning for their brothers. That's the stuff that sometimes we get lost in the X's and O's in the skill of a person, and we mistake looking at the will of a person. And this team will themselves to this victory tonight.
And it's probably part of the reason Rob Gronkowski came out of retirement. Everybody goes, well, he seemed happy. You know, he seemed content. Living the life of Gronk is pretty special. Now he's got a 4th ring on his finger. Now he joins a pretty lengthy list out there. That's quite a party for 4-time Super Bowl champions. You're going to have a big-time barbecue to have everybody. It's a party of one for Charles Haley, your old teammate, 5-time Super Bowl champion. But then there's a guy sitting on a throne who's like, come check me out when you got 7. I'm well on to the other hand. It's unbelievable. What about his old teammate, Julian Edelman? Can't stop, won't stop, best ever in all of sports. And that's probably where the discussion heads next. As for the Patriots, very classy. Congratulations to the greatest of all time. So that was very nice. And Gronk, be careful with that trophy. You'll remember that Gronk actually put a little dent in one of the Lombardi trophies.
What else can the Patriots tweet?
So now,
what else can the Patriots talk about? That's nice of them. What else can they say?
Well, they didn't have to tweet. You don't have to hit send.
Oh, yes, they did.
Really?
Yeah, you better have it done.
Irv is in rare form tonight.
He is.
I told y'all to keep me off this post. I did 8.5 hours this morning.
That's good.
I'm all right.
Keep bringing it.
I don't want to hear that.
Okay,
I'm here.
We always love lists and rankings and stuff. When you're talking about greatest football player ever, he's at the top. Brady's 1, right?
Brady has left. What Julian Edelman's talking about is real, and I've tried to make sure I put words to this to help others understand this in this right form. Brady went in 7 in football. All these other sports that we measure, basketball, there's so much individual success.
Did you call it basketball? That was a great movie.
Basketball, soccer, hockey, golf. So much individual success in that. Individual isolated success. There's no such thing as individual isolated success in football. LeBron can go from one rim to the other all by himself. So you get a superior athlete in no sport, they can make a difference. But I don't care how superior you are in this sport. You have to make sure that other guys around you are playing and playing great. And that's what makes Tom the greatest ever, all time now. And I don't care. We go across the sports because this is so interconnected that you need to make